Welcome back to Livity and Upliftment, where we give you all things possible and all things positive. My name is Horatio Morgan, and I am a certified human resource professional in the United States. I'm also a trainer and a certified teacher. And this is a program where we're helping persons who are relocating or immigrating to the United States and Canada. We're helping you to just get settled in, showing you the ropes and some of the things that you wouldn't normally hear. And we have been in this series where I've spoken about how to rent an apartment, the research that you should do, and so forth. And now I'm just introducing you to a different profession, because we have done a few already, and I wanted to see live and in living color one of our immigrant who is doing this thing there. He's actually my good friend. I've known him from what you call over here the elementary level of schooling, but in my country it's at the primary level. So without further ado, here's my friend Rashid, and Rashid is gonna tell you about what he did. He's an engineer, and he's gonna give you a little synopsis of what he did to become an engineer over here. So just sit tight and listen to information keenly, because we always give you information for your benefit and your development, okay? Take it away now, Rashid.
All right, Horatio, thanks. Good evening. Yes, we have known each other for some time. I think like 30 years, 35 years.
They're about, my friend.
I'm not sure if it's a correction or a better statement, but I'm not really as yet classified as an engineer here in Florida, because I'm not licensed as yet. It's in the process, but I haven't achieved it as yet. But I do work, I perform as one at a leading construction company here in America. So I have been an engineer I graduated 2005. I worked and lived in Jamaica since graduating till I migrated in 2011. And couple of insights, couple of advices. When I came here to the States in 2011, I made a professional mistake. I had been in one aspect of engineering for some time prior to migrating, but when I came here, I chose to venture into another aspect. Reason being, at the time I had a young daughter, so my previous job had me doing a 24-hour job a day, and here I wanted not to be so occupied. I wanted to have time for family. And that was a mistake, because I mean, in any country, in any language, how do you explain having experience in Exhibit A and then aspiring to be a professional in Exhibit B? So that's something I don't recommend you doing. If you, for example, I'm a mechanical engineer graduate. If you are in maintenance for 20 years, 10 years, 15 years, and you migrate and you choose to venture into biomechanics, for example, that has to do with medical devices and hospitals and these things, don't expect an open arm. You probably need to go back to school for that, or do a few courses from accredited institutions that will get you up to speed, and then you'll have to probably start at the bottom again. Start from the bottom and go again. But I'm gonna tell you what I did to get on my path. So I migrated 2011, and I learned that because my degree was a foreign degree to the United States, it needed to be accredited. There are several entities, several organizations that does accreditation here in Florida, and I suspect in all other states. So that's the first thing you gotta do is get accredited. What I recommend you do if you know you're migrating is that you, and depending on how you're migrating, let's say for example you plan to migrate a year from now, then I suspect 6 to 9 months from now you start researching. You know, if your partner resides here, if you're migrating through marriage, or if you have family here, you ask them to do this research for you, or you do it research yourself and start submitting your documents if possible, which most likely you can. You know, once you have certain documents, you know, that's tending towards you migrating, then you will be able to inquire and get involved in accreditation. So that was one of the big things when I came here and pursuing engineering jobs, and and even engineering schooling, I never had an accredited degree or documentation here in the States. And that takes some time when I get here. So that's a delay. That can take a few months into a year if I can recall properly, or probably even longer. All right. So you would, to advance your step, if you intend to pursue or continue your path, your career path along engineering, you would like to initiate those steps prior to migrating. You know, 6 to 9 months I recommend from my experience. You could do that. You know, you could. The company I use here in Florida is a company called Joseph Silney and Associates, international education consultants here in Miami. Um, and also, there's separate accreditation for professional engineering application as against for education. Let's say you want to pursue a master's, you'll have to get a separate accreditation. It wouldn't be the same. It wouldn't be applicable. It's a different type of accreditation. But as I mean, the reason why I did venture in the first place, let me explain this. The reason why I came here and ventured because I'm already a licensed engineer in Jamaica. So at the time I'm just about practicing professional licensed engineer in Jamaica, and I wanted the same path here when I just got here. So that's why I ventured into getting my documents accredited. And apart from in engineering, even in high school documents, college documents from a foreign institution, most times, I think in all states, you will need to get the documents accredited. You know, that's step one, basic step. And I'm saying to you that those accreditation the process can begin before you actually migrate. Um, Besides that, how I got into engineering here in the States was eventually I kept applying. I learned a few short courses that could help me to get accepted in the industry here in in Florida. It's not very industrial state, not a very industrial state. So the aspect of engineering here are available predominantly for mechanical engineers is like design engineering, you know, or I find maintenance engineering here is mostly specific to trades and tradesmen experience, not necessarily tertiary education skill set. All right. Um, but I'm just sharing my basic experience that I've had over the past few years in venturing into engineering. Like I said earlier, I'm in the process of doing the requisite exams to get myself licensed here in Florida as well. I'm not sure if I've presented enough for you, Mauricio, to share with your audience.
Well, yes, you have, because what we'll do is I will definitely attach more information to this video. So you can just click on the button below and you'll get more information as to where you can do what you can do in terms of where you can go for the equivalency to be done. Because I did the equivalency also at JS&A. And to get into mechanical engineering, yeah, the certifications I definitely will give you a link to that information also. So we should be good with that. But what we mainly wanted to go ahead, Rashidi.
One key thing I just remembered. Many years ago, before I actually migrated, I used to visit the states. You know, I mean, often enough, and I developed a network, or I got connected to a network of engineers here who had their qualifications done here in the states, and they explained to me that irrespective of where your school, as long as you can deliver and perform to the level that's expected, then you will be employed. And they were right. They're correct. You know, the employer won't necessarily pay much attention to your schooling, but if you can perform and deliver, you'll be hired. The thing is though, you'll be hired in a capped environment because you're not licensed or you're not an aspiring engineer. Then you probably won't be paid as a professional engineer. You know, you won't be able to grow to that level that you aspire. So even though you can do the work, which most times they will hire you and be happy you bring your skill set over, but you won't necessarily be compensated appropriately according to your experiences and knowledge. So it's best to pursue either your licenseship or you get qualifications and schooling here in the States.
That is true. That is definitely true. They're more acceptable for the qualification or the school in here. I can attest to that because I've seen it. But you know what? As I always say, be smart, make a plan. We can only give you the information and assist you so far. You have to make a plan and reach out. You can reach out to me in the comments and I will get back some information for you. You can reach out to some of the authorities, other Jamaicans, if you don't know any. If you know others here, we have the Jamaica Diaspora Association and so forth. But information is there. It's just how you get to the information and how you interpret and use that information. And as I said before, we'll be here. We'll be supporting you in this venture, as it's as much mental as it is physical, moving to a new place. Definitely. So my brother Shidi, blessed upon this interview. And for my colleagues watching this interview, as I said before, if you like this video, I really ask you to like, subscribe, and follow me. Make a comment to know so that YouTube know that we're assisting you in this process. Because our only aim right now is to assist you in settling into your new country and becoming a positive success. Okay? And with that said, this is Livity and Upliftment, where we give you all things possible and all things positive. Be blessed, brothers and sisters.